to go vote.
All right, so this will be, I guess, a dry run.
Yeah, try it, Ryan. Is it already live, Maria?
Yeah, it says live. We're about 10 seconds in.
All right. So
All right. Okay,
Well,
so
hello,
are we
everybody.
doing this from? Are we covering this from different perspectives? Like one person is giving one take, another person gives another ideological take.
Yeah,
yeah.
so we are live right now, and my name is Maria Segueri. I'm La Contadora Latina from Houston Tax Professionals. We are the community advisors, and tonight we're going to talk about why we need to go out and vote. We have Raimundo Reyes, and we also have Aaron. Would
Montalvo.
you like to present yourself, please?
All
My
right.
name is Aaron Montalvo, and we're here to discuss why this election cycle is so critical, and why you should more than likely go vote early rather than on the election day of.
All right. So my name is Raimundo, and we are here in Community Advisor Arzar, and we have I guess of honor today. We have Aaron Montalvo, and he's a political scientist, and me and Aaron went to the same school. Well, we all three went to the same school, but me and Aaron were in the same classes. He's a political scientist, and he's going to join us today and talk about the importance of voting, the importance to go out and vote. Is voting is very important, and we're trying to encourage as much as possible for people to go out and vote because democracy is it requires us to go out and vote. Sometimes we take that for granted, and it's very important for us to vote for people and take that advantage because other nations don't have that opportunity. We do, right, Aaron? Or Aaron, what do you think? Why is it important to go out and vote, Aaron?
Multiple reasons, man. It's a civic duty. It's people have literally died uh, to enable to expand the franchise. To people have sacrificed their lives. People have struggled. People have for a long time been disenfranchised, and it's, I would say, a civic duty because we are a representative democracy. It is embedded in the Constitution, and just multiple reasons. This election cycle is probably the most consequential in decades.
All right, awesome, Aaron. Definitely, it's a very important election. People have called it a historic, and I agree, it's a historic election. And either if you're Democrat, Republican, we want as much people as possible to go out and vote. And whatever party you are from, the beauty of democracy is that you can vote for whoever you want to. And we're trying to encourage as much as possible. Here in Community Advisors RSR, we're trying to encourage the Hispanic and Latino to go out and vote. And Aaron, you know how to vote. But there's a lot of people who don't have the information as to how they can go vote. Because it's very simple. The process is simple. You show up to a voting location and you present your ID to the person who's there, and then you
Mhm.
go and cast your ballot for whoever you want to choose. Right? You can choose whoever you want to, because that's
Right.
the beauty of this nation. But
Well, I would temper that. I would caution that because it's a little bit more complicated than that. Yes, you can show your ID. It depends on the locality, the state that you're in, and what their local or state ordinances are. Some places don't require an ID. Uh, you are more than likely, if you have never voted before, you're going to have to get a registration that you probably need to get with the county, I believe. At least in Texas, you would probably sign up with the county for first time voters. And at least with this election cycle, there are a number of states that have expanded mail in voting. It's typically most common before this election cycle out in the West, like in California, Oregon, Washington, places such as that. Um, the United States, it has probably one of the lowest turnout for the voting pool in any representative democracy in the industrialized world. Texas has one of the lowest turnouts within America, which itself has fairly low turnout, because there are a number of structural barriers ranging from gerrymandering to um, voting locations being um, cut off or hours being reduced. So I would say it's a little bit more complicated than that, but you do, at least in Texas, need a form of ID and to be registered.
Definitely. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe we have to do a little bit more background on this. But the beauty of Texas is that if you're registered, you're able to vote, even for example, if for some reason you haven't voted in a couple of years, you're still on the voting records, so you're not left out. You just whenever you go vote, you just present like here in Texas or here in Harris County, you present your ID, and the only difference is that if you for some reason you have moved to another address in another house, uh, you just present that and show it to them, and you sign the deal that you have changed to another address, but you're still able to go vote, right?
Yeah, actually, that's another very important point. If you do change addresses, you would more than likely have to also update your registration as well. Otherwise, you're probably not going to vote. If you, for example, move from a different state to another one, you're definitely going to have to uh, change your the address on your voter registration, because all that information more than likely has to remain current and uh, relevant. So yeah. Also, if you remain in the current residence, you will more than likely probably stay in the voter rolls for at least a while. So if for one individual were to uh, vote in each election cycle, from the presidential to the midterms every 2 years typically, um, you would stay on the rolls because you're a consistent voter. However, there are periodic purges of the rolls, though I don't know how long the span is between when if you are inactive with voting and when you're purged if you are inactive. It could be 4 years, it could be 8 years. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I was thinking my understanding, it might, like I said, I have to conduct a little bit more research. Is that in here in Texas, uh, for some, they don't take you out of the voting deals. I might be wrong, but that's what I have heard. But in other states, we know that it happens. But you know, Aaron, can we give a message from you? I know you're a world talk person, and you know how to motivate people to go out and vote. Can you motivate Hispanic and Latinos to go out and vote in this election year?
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Um, this particular election cycle is high stakes on so many different issues, ranging from immigration to the Supreme Court to the pandemic to uh, the possibly the very fate of the republic itself. Not to mention climate change, which probably can't wait another 4 years under a Republican administration, and we are playing with the apocalypse. We are playing with the apocalypse, and healthcare is also incredibly important as well. At least with the Joe Biden administration, for example, you would have a public option that would expand coverage. And currently, the Trump administration is trying to take the Affordable Care Act and to the Supreme Court right now to possibly invalidate it and rule it unconstitutional. That's what he's trying to do, which would eliminate uh, coverage for uh, 20 million people, pre-existing conditions, and also the Medicaid expansion in numerous states. Um, and then we also have the issue with the what basically amounts to concentration camps at the border, where they're doing basically what amounts to Mengele stuff, like forced hysterectomies against unwitting victims, and just a number of things. Furthermore, it's a census year, so that means typically after a census year, which is done every 10 years, the the House is redistricted, so the districts are correspondent to one of the major chambers of Congress, and that structurally determines a lot of the time who is going to get into office. Since a lot of the time the politicians choose their voters.
Definitely. I see what you're saying, Aaron. It's a very important election, and here in Community Advice RSR, we stay neutral, and like Aaron explained itself why it's important for him and for people like that. We're Democratic, from the Democratic Party. Why is the election important? Because there's issues that are important to them, and so yeah, we're trying to motivate as much as possible here in Community Advice RSR to people to go out and vote, especially Hispanic and Latinos. And in the near future, we're gonna have a show to talk about issues in the Hispanic and Latino community and how we can solve them and who is the better person to solve those issues. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us. And is there any last comments, Maria?
Yeah, well, we appreciate you showing up on such a short notice and sharing with us. Your information is very valuable
Much
to us.
appreciated.
Yes, we hope
Thank you
to
very
see
much.
you
I
soon
appreciate
again.
it for having me on.
Is that the thing
I'm
you
sorry?
were drinking? Is that soup?
No, that was coffee.
Can you
Why
show
did
it
you
again?
invite me for coffee, Aaron?
I love it. Can you show it again?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I need to get one of those.
Campbell's soup.
Uh,
But
Very nice.
It's the
Coffee.
Black Java.
awesome.
Very nice. Well,
Hey,
thank
Aaron,
you very much.
you should
Group of
invite me
champions.
for coffee.
Yeah. Well, social distance at least. Mask.
Oh yeah.
remember?
Aaron,
Well, thank you for watching. Go ahead.
before we go, I know there's more things that we can talk. Maybe we can expand a little bit. We can go a little bit. Right? It's 8:52. PM. It's a night. It's the night is young. Aaron, can you give us?
What's up?
You know how to motivate people. I always mention that to all my colleagues. And I mentioned it to Maria and Edward, that you're a person that knows how to motivate people and talk. Give us more as to why this election is important and why people should vote. Regardless of whether they're Democrat or Republican or what. Why is it important for people to go out and vote? You know that it's important, obviously, because X, Y, and Z reason. But try to tell the regular people who are listening to us, who are sitting at their house, drinking coffee like you and I, and eating their dinner and watching some other show, but for some reason they came to Facebook. They were watching us. Go ahead.
Well, sure. Like I said, this is probably one of the most, if not the most consequential elections in decades, and this has the potential to shape policy and for decades to come. This is a turning point election, ranging from the Supreme Court to immigration, healthcare, the pandemic, etc. There are a number of reasons why a person should go out and vote. Not only is it a civic duty, it's just why not have your voice heard? Why would you not want to have your input?
All right, awesome. Edward is one of the co-hosts for the show. For Community Advisors, Maria is also a co-host, and they all know you. You don't know them, but they know you. They know that you're a political scientist, and you have work in political campaigns, and you're a well-known person. Hi, Edward.
Dancing.
All right.
Edward, can you hear us?
I'm sorry. Can you hear us?
Edward? Oh, I don't know if you can hear us.
All right, but Edward, whenever you can, we're not able to hear you, but if you can talk to us and give us why it's important to go out and vote.
Okay, he says he can't hear us yet. Okay,
Okay, yeah,
so
he says he can't hear us, so there's probably a mic problem.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's Edward is that he's not able to. Are you able to talk, or if not, and maybe you can present yourself even that you're not able to hear us. Oh, give me 1 second. We can type it. But Edward he's a co-host for the show Community Advisor RSR, and he is from LULAC District Council 18.
Awesome.
so you graduated from UH downtown.
I'm sorry?
Do you graduate from UH downtown, or you're still going?
I'm still going,
Yeah,
but I'm working on it. Should be soon.
but he's still working on it, meaning that he's young, he's going to he's getting his education, but he knows a lot about politics, and he has in political political campaigns, right, Aaron? We were all there door knocking,
Yes, sir.
and breaking
I've got
down data.
experience. I've done canvassing to phone banking to signs and pushing cards. I've done the gamut.
Yeah, and so yeah. All right, let's wait and see if Edward is able to present himself. If not, just know that he's an important guy. He's the best of the best, and he's from Community Advisor RSR. And he's a member of LULAC District Council 18. And also Maria is one of the best of the best. She does taxes and business, and Aaron is one of the best with politics. So you have all three of the best people in Harris County and right in the state of Texas. Well, we know our best people. They're the best of the best. So if you need to do your taxes, Maria is there. If you need you're dealing with some civil rights issues and you're Hispanic and Latino, Edward is here. And if you're looking to do political work, you're thinking about later on, doing some political work, you can always contact Aaron, who's here. But going back to voting,
What happened to Edward?
He's having issues with his computer.
Oh,
So
okay.
next time. Mhm.
Next time.
Yes. All right.
The importance of down ballot in the research, for people, can you give us, can you explain that important to do research, because they might, people might read,
the internet froze for a minute. Could you repeat the question?
All right. Apologize for that. I'm also having, issues with my computer, with my internet. For that.
Hello?
Yeah, I think he's having issues with the computer.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So, I'll also have an issue, but I was just saying that give us, why is it important? I'm asking you this question to you, the importance of, conducting research and whatever ideas and beliefs people have. Obviously, we're not here to change their ideas and beliefs, but we're just trying to encourage them to go out and vote. But what's the importance of actually conducting research, spending those 5 minutes of free time and going on Google or going on Facebook or Twitter, finding information on local candidates, and also the importance of going down ballot. You got the local races that are really, really important. For example, the ordinances and all that deal. We're not dealing with here in Houston with elections for city council, but what I'm trying to say is that the importance of electing judges and state representatives for the House and the statewide, right, from here for Texas or whatever state you're listening from. They're also important. Also, the congressional ones. Can you give us any information on that?
Well, I'll start with why it's important to go down ballot. So typically, the presidency is the big kahuna, it's the big fish. That's the one, that's the race that gets all of the media coverage, that gets the most media coverage. But just as consequential, if not more so, is a number of the congressional races from the Senate to the House. The Congress is the one that determines what gets passed into law. They are the ones that craft policy most of the time. The president can issue executive orders, but typically it is Congress that holds the at least the majority of the power, ranging from the budget to whatever social programs or just legislation in general, at a federal level, which affects the entirety of the nation typically. Um, and as for the state races are also very important as well because typically states have wide berth or autonomy to craft policy and affect the daily lives of individuals and in their citizens within their jurisdiction and borders. They can set anything from minimum wages to local regulations to expanding Medicaid to just a number of things like tort, contract law, um, a lot of civil law, a lot of criminal law is handled on the state level. And then as for judges and local races in the cities, those are also incredibly important. Uh, I'm just trying to emphasize down ballot. The president is important, don't get me wrong, but down ballot from the congressional races all the way down to the state and the cities, these are all also incredibly influential and important because these are layers of government that um, have probably even a more direct um, influence on individuals' lives and communities' lives or communities um, in general in the United States. Uh, Furthermore, as for Raimundo, what was the other question you asked? Just as a refresher.
The importance of conducting research, right? Like everybody has their own personal beliefs, and people are they have their ideology and they believe a certain way. And like we had mentioned here in community advisors, we're neutral, and we just try to encourage people to go out and vote. And here in community advisors, we're focused on providing information to the Hispanic and Latino community. So, but the importance of research,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And to our Hispanic and Latino people, who are listening to us, what advice, what advice can you give
So
them? What
I would
advice can you
say
give? Yeah.
I would say it's very important to look into what the candidates believe, because typically they will, because their belief system, their ideology, and what they support are eventually possibly going to end up being crafted into law and legislation that could potentially be passed that affect the lives of millions and millions of individuals in a number of ways, ranging from social reasons to immigration to economic, etc. So it's just best to be informed about what policy stances the individuals in question that are running for whatever offices in question want to enact, because policy is the most important thing. Is just is just a good thing to be an informed voter and citizen. You can typically find what they believe in. Typically, is under their own individual websites. Typically, typically candidates have their own websites, which list what they believe in or their stances, or at least some rhetoric. Um, some other good resources to find out what they believe in is like Ballotopedia. The League of Women Voters typically has a pretty comprehensive guide on what uh, the the candidates in question believe in on either side, be it Republican or Democrat. Some other good sources are who do I side with, or uh, I believe it's called Who Do I Side With, but voting.org is another good resource, I believe. And probably also get your sample ballots. Check out your sample ballots that are on your county on what candidates are are in your district or precinct that are affecting you specifically. Because like I'll use the House race as an example. If you live in one place, typically you're going to vote for one set of people, and if you live in a different geographical location, they're going to be a different set of people as well, because of corresponding to districts and states, and on both the federal and state level, and then also even in the city level, because they are carved up in a similar way via districts typically.
Right. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing that information. And, like Aaron said, conducting research is very important because depending on where you stand, whatever issues and whatever ideas and beliefs you have to look up the candidates and figure out, if that person, that candidate, it's the person that you should be voting for. So, for our Hispanic and Latino friends and viewers who are, listening to us at this hour, it's already 9:06. It's already late, and we're drinking our coffee, having, information and talking about politics. Who wouldn't like to do that, in late night, talk about politics live on Community Advice RSR and Facebook. But yeah, conducting research is very important because
Only the
that way
best
you
of the best people.
yeah. That being said, please conduct research, and please, Hispanic and Latinos, please go out and vote. And it's pretty straightforward, simple. You don't need we're not able to tell you who to vote for. Don't let anyone to tell you who do you vote for. You go on, like I said, Google, social media, figure out the information of the candidates, and you decide who you're going to vote for. Whenever you are walking to go in and vote, it's pretty straightforward. You walk into the location, and if it's in the state of Texas, you present your ID, and that's it. You go inside, you vote. Don't let anyone tell you, hey, you're not able to go vote. Just go home. No. You walk in and you go vote. And for some reason, they tell you that you're not registered to vote, and you were registered to vote at some point in your life. Ask for a provisional ballot, and you vote. And so, yeah. Thank you for watching as I am the host for Community Advisor RSR, and Maria's co-host, and Aaron is our guest of honor, political scientist and community activist here in the. You're on mute, Maria.
Sorry, too many technical issues here. We hope to see you soon, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great night, y'all.
Are we closing out?
All right.
Yes. Hey, Aaron. We always offer like a public service announcement to all the guests we have, and you're a guest of honor, like all our guests who come to the show, and it's whatever you believe and whatever you want to give out to the community. And as a public service announcement, obviously we're focused on the Hispanic and Latino community, so you can say whatever you want and to the community. Obviously, we are neutral. We're not. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, so I guess just as some closing remark, emphasize that this election is incredibly important, again, on all levels of government: federal, presidency, Congress, the state, cities. These institutions shape everything from immigration to taxation to social programs, just a number of regulations, just a number of things. So if you're a person that lives in this country, you have a stake, because you are going to be affected in some shape or form, whether you vote or not. So I would suggest strongly that you have your voice at least heard, because otherwise you're still going to be affected in some shape or form, no matter what.
Definitely. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing that. And definitely. And Maria, you had mentioned something last time about if for about the people who are not who are here undocumented illegally, and
Mhm.
they have sons and their sons are able to vote. And do you want to also comment something about it and say to them, grab your kid by the ear, take him to the poll.
Yes, definitely. If you are here and you can't vote yet, now there's people that are resident, they're legal residents, and they've been here for years and years, 20 plus years. I know there's people that have been here 30 years and they have not become a citizen. But you have kids, you have grandkids that can vote. Please encourage them to go out and vote. And also, if you don't have the status to vote yet, but you have family members that can vote, please make them go out and vote. It's important.
Definitely. And like Maria and Aaron said, it's important to vote. In that case, you have a son or daughter who is able to vote, is registered to vote. He doesn't want to go to vote. He doesn't want to vote. He doesn't want to do it. Well, guess what? You invite him to go get some tacos, and you don't go to tacos. You go to a polling location. You drop him off. You go vote for whoever you want to vote for. We get the tacos afterwards.
Yes.
All right. Good
All
night,
right.
y'all.
Well, that's all for. Thank you for watching us. Have a
Peace,
good
y'all.
night.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.